Okay, good morning. We are on the 26th of Teves. Okay, Hayom Yom. So the Yom Yom is a little bit of an explanation of one of the brachas that we make in Shimon Esrei. That's in the Chabad Siddur. It's on page 55. The bracha about umalashinim, the scorners, the scoffers. So in that bracha, it says, well, I'll just sort of translate. And to the scorners, there should be no hope. And all the ones who negate the Yiddishkeit, the negators of Torah, and all, it goes through a list of evil people. They should be destroyed, or at least their perspective should be destroyed. And all the enemies, etc., etc. And then it lists here three verbs about their destruction. Sa'arker, uprooted, v'sha'aber, broken, v'smarger, and then the fourth one is v'sachnia, which is subjugated. And the Yom Yom says that between the first three and the fourth, there has to be a pause, because the first three refer to klippus noga. Klippus noga can be elevated. And the last one, v'sachnia, total subjugation, how do you translate in English? Eradicated. The Sachnia refers to, that's eradicated. Eradication refers to the fourth category of klippa, of shell, which is the one which is totally unclean. That should be eradicated. So this is just an instruction in how to say these words properly with that proper pause, so that you distinguish between the klippas that can be dealt with and the klippas that need to be thrown aside. That's today's Hayom Yom. So today we are going to explore a word that was used yesterday. Well, let me put it this way. We're talking here about the as I said way back when, the arsenal that the Beinani has available, the tool set, the armament set that the Beinani has available, or the Beinani wannabe has available, to win the war, to win the battle, and continually it's a battle, that's the Beinani, with the Yetzer Hara. And amongst the tools that the Beinani has are active contemplation and the essential, that's number one. And number two, the essential nature of the Nefesh Elokis, the godly soul. And with active contemplation, one can reveal a love of God in one's heart. And with the root of with the root godly soul, the reason that there can be a love awakened in the heart is because this love of Hashem is latent in the godly soul all the time, and sort of slumbering there. I wouldn't say slumbering there, like a fire that's ready to be kindled. That's everything is ready, and it's there. In one of the metaphors that's brought up is like a coal where the coal is gray, but there's a lot of heat in it. And if you were to prefer, for instance, as I did once, just by mistake, poured gasoline on a barbecue where the coals were hot and the flame just reached, blew up like crazy. So there's a spark, a latent heat, a latent fire in the godly soul that's always there for the wanting, for the flaming up. It's there to be flamed up. That's the hidden love. And this hidden love, that's deep in the soul, we've been calling tavuna. Tavuna is a language that has to, or tavuna salev. Tavuna is a language that refers to bina, understanding. But the mashal that's brought is like it's the potential that exists in the embryo before the embryo is born. So everything is there. Everything is there in that nodule, so to speak, of the godly soul, waiting to be fanned, illuminated, etc. And in the state before it's fanned and illuminated, it's hidden. That's called the Ava Misoteris, the hidden love deep in the heart of every Jewish person. And that's called Tavunas Liboy, the sense of understanding that exists in concealed way yet in the deep depth of the heart. So we're going to explore this more right now. This is on page Chof Beis in the classical Tanya, about 10 lines up from the bottom. And in the lessons in Tanya, it's at the very bottom of page 231. The zeh is this what we call this tamuna kind of love, this love which is hidden in the heart. This was hinted at in a saying of the sages in the Gemara Kedushin. The sages said, Rizal Omrim, they said, Machshava toiva, a good thought, HaKodesh Baruch Hu mitzarefes lamaisa, a good thought, Hashem will add to deed. So the Alter Rebbe says, it could have said, if it meant the following, that Hashem would add a good thought to your deed. In other words, if you have a good thought, that will influence the deed. But it says something else. It says that there's a connection here. There's an intrinsic connection here between the inner thinking, the inner reaches of the brain, the inner reaches of the brain, which contain, like the embryo, everything that's going to exist there, including the love as it's included in the brain. There's a connection between that deep level, tavunas liba, which is the understanding that the heart has before it fires up, and there's a deep connection. And this is what he's going to explain here. The inyan is this. When a person is in a state of revealed awe, revealed fear, revealed love, with a heart on fire, as we talked about yesterday, revealed in the heart, that energetic of flaming, we'll stay with love, because that's what he's going to stay with in this chapter. This love, this flaming love, is enclosed in the deed. So your deeds have fire to them. Your deeds have energy. In this case, the energy of love. So when there's a revelation of love in the heart of a person, that love is enclosed in the deeds of the mitzvahs that you do. We can see the person is performing them with alacrity and with enthusiasm and with simcha, to enliven them. And that enlivenment causes that those mitzvahs, lepocher la'ela, fly up. They literally fly up, they leave, they ascend up to the highest levels when it's done with an open, energetic of love. And this would speak, love, fear, all the other, so there also, but we're staying with love. Ki halev hu gam kem chumri. Why is that? Why is it that the physical body can be informed with something which is more spiritual, this emotion which called love, which originates in the deep recesses of the brain of the godly soul? Because this progression downward from Chabad into the chest, into the heart. So the heart is also physical. The heart is a physical organ, like all the others, but the heart has something else. The heart is, as we say in English and other, it's when he does it heartfully, right? Your heart was in it. In other words, it's the seat of revealed enthusiasm. So it has an open connection between the spiritual. There's an open connection there between this physical, the organ of the heart, and the spiritual. Even to the point, as I quoted yesterday from the Zohar, that the heart comes to understand it. The heart is understood as a understanding instrument. I mean, just a very aside, I once had a conversation with a cardiologist, a surgeon, and he told me that the reason he chose heart surgery was because of this, because he saw that understood that the heart was I guess brain, we could say, is equivalent in a certain way, but the complexity of the physiology miraculously contained spirit and energy, and it just grabbed him that the heart was something he wanted to specialize in. So what drove him was this, that the heart is the seat, not only is it a physical organ, but it's a seat of emotion, and particularly the emotion of love that we're focusing on now. So the heart is a humri, it's a physical thing, kasharevorim, like all the other limbs. Shehem kli hamasa, which all the limbs are limbs which allow you to do things. Elishahu panimi, but the heart has a panemius to it. We speak about in Chassidus, panemius alev and chutzonius alev, the inner dimensions of the heart and the external dimensions of the heart. The inner dimensions of the heart are the inner dimensions of one's emotions. It's the seat of emotion. And that's, so the heart is a panemi, as well as being a chitzoni, something external, it's a panemi. It's a corporeal and it's a spiritual. And the chayas lehem, and it contains chayas, life force within it. And because of its duality of spirit and physical together, it's able to be enclosed bohem in actions. And those, that energetic that's enclosed in the heart becomes the wings which cause the emotions to fly up. Fly up, of course, is both physical and metaphorical. I mean, we could say that, it rises up, but it really does rise up because of the spiritual element of the heart. The heart is able to invest, because of the physical aspect of the heart, it's able to invest love into physicality and energy. And because of the spiritual, it's able to take that energy and raise it up into the spiritual levels, up into the higher levels. So as we said, references into particular worlds, the higher worlds up above the spiritual worlds. That's the love of the heart that's revealed. Now we have the root of that, the kernel of that. This is what we were talking about before, understanding. The understanding of that's rooted in the brain, tavuna, the emotional state of intellect, or the intellectual state of emotion, the embryonic state. As I said, this Marshall actually referred to in a note on the previous page, the state where everything is there, but it's in an embryonic stage. So it's still hidden. So this is the level of love, which is rachima shebetavunas moichai, in the understanding of the brain, the talumas liboy, the hidden reaches of the heart, contrasted with the open, fiery emotions that are existing in the heart, when the heart is expressed. So this level of love, this is a level which is called talumas, the hidden level, or tavuna. The hidden levels of the heart, and in this case, the hidden level of love, which is in the tamuna in the brain, the understanding, the emotional intellectual faculty, or the faculty of emotion as it's in intellect, is much higher than being directly expressed. It can't come down directly into deed. It's too elevated. As he says now, that level can't be enclosed directly in the deeds of mitzvahs, because they're still at the embryonic stage. They're still at the embryonic, I'm using as a metaphor. They're still in the brain. And it's an elevated chayas, which is which doesn't come down yet and able to inflame the heart and allow the heart to raise the flame up above. And it won't be, and that connection between heart and brain. This I mentioned yesterday, but just to emphasize, in many places in Hasidus, heart and brain are spoken about as opposites. The intellect is cool, and the heart is not cool. The heart beats, it throbs, it pulses. The brain is very quiet. The chachma is compared to water, and the higher and the heart is compared to fire. And these two things are opposites. Now here we're going to make a connection between the water and the fire, between the brain and the intellect. And the only reason that connection can happen is because of Hashem himself. That connection of the deepness of the brain, that it should somehow inflame the heart, is only im Leisha Kodesh Baruch Hu Mitzarfim. Is only because our Kodesh Baruch Hu, the Holy One, blessed He be He, who is the power of Kol Yochel, He can do everything. He brings them together, and joins them into deed. Somebody has Yeah, Rachel Blima, I think you need to mute yourself there, if you will, please. A lot of background noise. So Hashem brings the two together. And joins them to a deed. And this that starts in the brain, this tavuna, love and fear, this love and fear, or love, we'll focus on the love that exists in the brain, is called mashava toiva. It's not the expression of fear and love, the hisgalus libo, in the revealed part of, in the revealed heart. It's the love as it exists in the understanding of the brain, the tailumas libo, and in the secret reaches, the hidden reaches of the heart, as we said above. This is the love of Hashem that's latent, dormant, waiting to be tapped in the panemius of the Nefesh of Elokius. Now this combo that Hashem is going to take from the hidden reaches into the revealed way, allow the hidden reaches, the brain, to flow and influence the heart, to make this combo, this combination. This is a combination that HaKadosh, the Holy One, blessed be He, does, in order to allow the deed of mitzvahs to rise up, and one's occupation in Torah, which are spawned from this hidden love which is in the heart. This is this is why the Jew comes back to Judaism. This is why no matter how far we roam, we always come back home. If we have the good fortune of being able to have the experience of that there is a home, we walk into it. We Jews are attracted like moths to the fire, right? We have this hidden desire to burn up in the fire of God, but it can be hidden and it can be camouflaged in what we know, other pursuits, with other fiery pursuits, which may have the temptation or the illusion of looking like what we really want, but they don't resolve to what we really want. What resolves to what we really want, and the only thing that can resolve to really what we want, is the immersion in the fire of Torah and mitzvahs, because that's what's implanted in our Jewish soul. So that brings us back. And so this hidden love, Ava Misuteres, this, as he spoke, this Avas Nelom, the hidden love, is there, and that's the root of what brings us back and what gives us the consciousness to pursue the spiritual endeavor of seeking God. And that hidden love is called that Mashava Toiva, and will be what kindles the open revelation in the heart, and will allow our Torah and mitzvahs and everything we do. First of all, it initiates our attraction to Torah and mitzvahs, and then as we flame the fire, involves us deeper and deeper into it, until the Torah that we learn and the mitzvahs that we do are able to rise up ad olam habriya, now he says that these are levels of spiritual worlds, to a relatively higher world, which is called olam habriya, which is makam aliyas Torah, which is the place, if you want to know, where one's Torah and mitzvahs go up, which are done al yedei lechinim v'lechim asichlim, through the contemplative, the revealed love that we do when our soul is openly on fire. When our soul is revealing the love in our heart. Mamish. Without this spark underlying everything, nami oilam la'oilam. Without this, nami oilam la'oilam hayatzira. Without the revealed love, with the fiery love, the mitzvahs that we do also go up, but they go up to a lower world, which is the world of Yetzirah. Through our natural love, which is hidden in the heart of Kol Yisrael, of each and every Jewish people, each and every Jewish person, as a matter of simple biology, of spiritual biology, that as from birth we are born with this hidden love in our heart. And will be explained more at length as we go further in the Tanya. So that's today's Tanya. An explanation of a word that is, we know about Bina. Bina is understanding, right? That's the translating. But what's Tevuna, which is also built on the word Bina. Tevuna is the hidden love in the essence of the Jewish soul, which is capable, through the help of Hashem, to be born into a flaming fire of revealed love in our heart to elevate our mitzvahs up, 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 up. All right. First of all, questions, comments? Clear?
I just want to say I'm at the Rashbi, and if everybody wants.
You're at the Rashi? What did you say? Who's talking?
At the Rashbi, she said. Rashbi.
Pesherivka, I'm at the Rashbi. If anyone wants to send me names, they can do that in the chat.
You're at the, I'm still going. You're at the Rashi? The Rashbi.
The Rashbi.
The Rashbi,
Yes,
thank you.
yes.
Okay,
yes.
Rav
And
Shimon
if
Bar
anyone
Yochai.
wants to.
Got it. Okay, beautiful. You're
And if anyone wants to send me names, do it now, please.
Okay. All right.
very
Thank
good.
you.
Very good.
Thank you.
Okay.
Avi, I have a
Simcha.
question.
Yes.
I missed yesterday's obviously very important shir, and I'm going to try today to go back and listen to it. But this tenuva love, though, it's not lechatchila, the ultimate way to serve God with love, right? First, we have to do our best to, is this true that first we have to do our best to through meditation to cultivate a more active, revealed love? And then if we're unable to, we can rely on the tenuva love?
Okay.
I would look. I wouldn't. I just not going to stand on the first, which comes first and which comes second, right? I mean, some people, and I myself have had that experience where the tavuna love is first. It's just like something, I don't know what it is, that's attracting me, that's waking up, in me, right? And it is that the tavuna love is like the spark that's hidden there, right? And it will flame up and can flame up through conscious meditation. So I just have to say, it depends on the person, what comes first. The person, first of all, why is a person meditating in any discipline? Why are you doing any discipline of contemplation, meditation? Something attracted you to it, right? No matter what kind of meditation you're doing. So when I'm thinking out loud with you, I'm thinking that the tavuna love has, it's even though it's hidden, it's having its influence. It's what's drawing you. It's what's drawing you. And having been drawn into the discipline, now I'm going to learn how to meditate. So maybe the tavuna love really is first.
But does it create the same effect? This burning,
No.
love, this, right. It's not,
Right,
it's quiet. It's a quieter.
Right.
Type
And
of
that's
love.
what we learned today, that it doesn't affect the highest elevation
Right.
of whatever you're doing. For that, you need to bring it into open fire.
The second half of my question is, when we say that this love affects the heart, are we talking about both sides of the heart, the side that is also filled with the animal soul, so that the animal soul and the godly soul are both
Absolutely.
affected?
Absolutely. I mean, its residency, its home, and its origin is in the right side of the heart. But yeah, as it flames up, it takes the animal with it. Not only takes the animal with it, but the both of them ascend. Yeah.
Great. Okay, thank you.
Manucha, your hand is up.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering if there's thought of maybe a physiological transfer corresponding to the spiritual transfer, between the two that you were talking about, and that's the adrenals. In other words, because I was just at the chiropractor, and they're the only guys who talk about the adrenals. Regular doctors don't. Anyway, the adrenals, as I'm sure you know, are I can't see you. Anyway,
You
the
can't see me?
adrenals. No, some
Why?
reason. Oh,
Right.
now I do. Now I know how you feel. Anyway, yeah, hi. The thing is, yeah, so the adrenals, the was it called the parasympathetic nervous system is puts all the hormones into the blood, those being mainly adrenaline and steroids. So adrenaline, as you know, is the fight or flight response, whether real or imagined, and that's very, very emotional. And you know, there's the famous stories about you have enough adrenaline going and a person is afraid enough that they all of a sudden they lift a car, you know, which they never could do otherwise. So that goes around and around. It goes, the hormones go into the blood and they go around and around. So
Yeah.
it seems to me that physiologically it could maybe be a medium of transfer, especially since the adrenals are located on top of the kidneys. They're like, in fact, he said, they're like he said it's like a kippah on the kidneys. They're just sitting right on top. And
What's
I
your,
just learned
what's your,
yesterday.
what are you, wait a minute, let me interrupt. What are you suggesting or proposing?
I'm suggesting that there's a correspondence physically and spiritually to anything. And you were talking about the spiritual transfer, like from the brain down into the heart.
Okay.
And the back and forth.
Let me interrupt you. We're focusing on the heart because the heart is the center of emotion, but the heart relies on a lot of other things. I mean, the adrenal system, the adrenals have to do with the heart as well, right? The release of hormones has an effect on the heart. So yeah, of course, all the other systems in the body are participating in this, but what they're participating here from our purposes is flaming up the heart. But yeah, the other systems are important. You won't have that happening if the other systems aren't working.
Yes, but I was specifically referring to the adrenal system because that is the emotional one, and the emotional one goes into the blood, which is produced by the heart, and the whole thing originates in the kidney, which I just learned yesterday is where in the second or third month of the development of the unborn child, it's from the kidneys that the reproductive system is formed. All the sperm comes from the kidneys, and all the the eggs, all of them during the course of a woman, comes from the kidneys, and just happens to be the kippah on top of the kidneys are the adrenals. So it seems interesting. I don't know.
Okay, it's good. It's good. Anybody else? Okay, Ubechain. So what? What do we do? Well, I'll give you one bechain. One bechain I learned. Oh, I'd rather say, yeah.
It's a Viva.
Go.
So what I take away from this is that the Alter Rebbe really cares about every kind of Jew. Like there are lots of Jews like me, for example, who, meditation is difficult. It's not part of my background or whatever. But if you can't do it, there's another way. And in Tanya, there's always another way to get to the point. And that's my takeaway. Thank you.
Can you, no, good, but one more, I want you to add one more thing. What's the other way?
The myth.
Well,
Aviva, what's the other way?
What's the other way in terms of what we've just learned?
Yeah.
The other way is to develop tavuna and to be cognizant that there's this drip, drip, drip in your brain that comes down and drips down into you. And it, in and of itself, can produce enough oomph to get you there, if you're serious
And
about it.
that's beautiful. Machshava shalat al halev. We keep coming back to that. If
Can-
you can't control your heart, which most of us can't, or as you said, you're not inclined to meditation yet, right? At least know that in your head you have the key, and direct your head to that, and the rest will follow. Beautiful. Okay, I like that. I hope everybody else likes it too. It's a good key. Machshava shalat halev. That's what the Rabbi says. The brain can rule over the heart. Okay, till we meet again. Take care. Have a wonderful day. Rest of the day.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.